In this, the second episode of our new Indonesian series, we experience one of our best night passage ever as we sail in company with buddy boat Lola B to the remote island of Sapuka Besar, almost midway between Sumbawa and Sulawesi. Here we're made extremely welcome by the locals, including off-duty police officers. We're an Australian couple, Rob and Karen, who worked out before it was too late that life is for living. So we're off sailing to catch our Dreamtime, exploring as many of Indonesia's 17,000 islands as we can. Next on our list is Sulawesi, the world's 11th largest island, remote and far from the usual sailing routes. Its coastline boasts golden sand beaches and hundreds of offshore islands for us to discover, along with many diverse cultural groups. Come along on our journey as we make the most of every single day in Series 5, Dreamtime Sulawesi.
We're getting ready to depart in about an hour's time and head for our first leg across towards Sulawesi from Sumbawa. So I'm just doing a last minute check on windy. Looking at what the weather's going to be tonight. We've got almost no wind out there at the moment. We'll motor away from here. Tonight the wind is telling me on one model 6 knots from the west, 6 knots from the west, 6 knots from the west, 8 knots from the west. So we can expect something in that vicinity from the wind point of view. Let's have a look at our swell out there. It's suggesting 0.3, 0.4 of a metre from the north. 0.4 of a metre is nothing. One thing that we have to consider here very much is the currents, and that's a totally different story. We've got out there tonight a 1.8 knot current heading west to east. We'll be going across that, so it's going to be dragging us sideways, which means we're going to be bringing the boat around a bit more towards the wind. It's a west, so no problem there. But overall it looks like a fairly light condition overnight sail up to our first island anchorage, and we might burn some fossil fuel tonight. Hopefully once we get out and away from Sumbawa we might be able to just sail.
We have just over 100 nautical miles to do, 108 nautical miles to do, to our first island group, which is going to halve our distance to Sulawesi. So we are going to stop off at this little island group, maybe have a day there, maybe a couple of days, we'll see what it's like. But anyway, the main thing is that we're going to do an overnighter, that leaving now at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we will get in somewhere around 7, or of course if we're a bit slower, 8, which gives us enough time to actually get in and know whether the anchorage is good. We have no idea what this anchorage is about. We haven't got any guide to help us, any anchor spots or anything else. We've just been looking at the satellite images and trying to choose the best places to go. And this one looks reasonably good. If it isn't, we have another one earmarked 50 nautical miles on. So it gives us the opportunity, getting in at 7 a.m. in the morning, to actually turn the boat one way, to actually continue on if we need to. And then if that one isn't any good in the afternoon, we then continue on through to Sulawesi, where we know that we've got a definite spot. However, we think it's pretty good, that we will be all okay. So Rob's it's very muddy in here, and great anchorage, so protected. We had a massive lightning storm the other night, hardly any wind, but we were rock solid in here, and we've sat in 10 to 11 metres the whole time we've been in here. Look, we're in the northwest monsoon, so the weather more or less is like the northerlies in Queensland. They're not as strong as the southeast monsoon, so we have to take the opportunity we can that we've got some wind to get across there. We probably understand that we're going to do some motor sailing, but we've discussed our sail plan and everything's going up this afternoon. We'll reef later this afternoon, ready for the evening watch. And Lola B is heading out. Start track. Here we go. 108 nautical miles. You can see why it's so protected. It's just beautiful. Sand spit that comes out. Here's one of the local fishermen that came over to us when we arrived. They wanted beer, cigarettes, none of which we supply. Terima kasih. Goodbye.
Our first fad of the trip. Hope we don't come across too many, particularly at night. And the booby bird's already starting to circle, so who knows, we might have hitchhikers later on as well. The sun is trying to set. We have been sailing for 5 hours exactly.
Zachary.
And we have done 30.6 nautical miles.
Hi.
So we're averaging 6.1. And the best news is we have been sailing.
No fuel used at all.
Oh,
Well, to get out of the anchorage.
30 minutes to get the anchor up out of the anchorage,
Yeah.
clear of the reef,
Set sails.
point up into the wind, get the sails up, and then turn the engine off. And we haven't troubled the forward lumen ever since. So yes, we've done 30 miles. We've got 78.1 to go, and our ETA at the moment is showing around the 7 to 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, which is scary because that's what we planned for.
We'll see what happens through the night.
Our friends Emma and Daniel on Lola B, our buddy boat for this blue boating tour of Sulawesi.
Off the track blue boat tour.
They're about 1.5 miles across here. Still in sight, which is great, so we'll see what happens through the night. I'm going to go down for a bit of a sleep soon. Karen will
Just
carry the
going to-
watch through till about midnight, and then I'll take us through the dawn. Other than that, not much going on our Dreamtime.
Life vest ready to go on. OMG, what an amazing night was.
I don't know, I was
Asleep.
on the bunk.
It has been superb. We're hooting along again. We've been getting 8.5 knots at 90 degrees, and we're doing 6.9, 6.7, 6.9. Got a bit of current with us, I think.
Yeah, by the windy site, we should have about 1.8 knots of current running west to east, and that's really pushing us along.
Yeah, it's been good. So
We're
we're coming up to the first lot of reefs, and there's a beacon out there that's flashing away at 12 white flashes.
well, we've taken our course to run about 1.2 miles west of that to give it plenty of clearance.
Yep.
So I'm glad you're seeing the flash well off the
Yeah, well,
bow.
just keep on looking, because these charts, as we know, can be very much out here in Indo.
Well, that's getting us in 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so we're still got to slow down a bit. So, but these reefs, I mean, we've got no sea state at all. So this reef system coming up is going to give us more, and then it could funnel through here with some wind. So, you know, don't know. Never been here before.
Nope.
On our way to Sulawesi.
Yeah, some night watches are really, really beautiful.
And this one has been superb. I've had a couple of squid boats, so they've lit up the sky. One I had to dodge about down here because he was just sitting, and he just wanted to be in our way. But other than that, it was no problem.
Yeah, there's nothing on AIS. Lola is now about 4.5 miles behind us.
Yeah.
So all is good. You can go and hit the bunk.
Ah, thanks for the coffee.
Good morning, everyone. It's been a beautiful sail through the early hours. Really just one of those perfect night passages. The sun's starting to show itself now, so I've just started the generator to boil a kettle for some coffee. The wind has eased a little, but we're still getting along nicely, and we've got less than 6 miles to what we hope will be a nice anchorage at the island of Palau, Sapuka Besar. I can just see Lola B back on the horizon, so Daniel and Emma shouldn't be too far behind us into the anchorage. And that's where we'll all be one step closer to Sulawesi.
Yeah, that looks fine to me.
We're in 14.
Yeah. We're probably going a little closer.
13, 14, that's what it was. After watching Lola B wind their way around the coral bombies into the anchorage, we took it very easy on board for the rest of the day, before some well-earned sundowners on deck. Can't remember where we were going day after tomorrow.
The day after tomorrow. Oh, no, that's another beautiful island. Just like this one.
We also had a visit from some very friendly locals who really appreciated our gift of some caps. We'd explore the island the next day, but in the meantime we were treated to a spectacular sunset to cap off a magical passage from Sumbawa. Rained all morning, so we're stuck on the boat, but here mid-afternoon, hopefully we've got a break in the weather. We're going into Palau Sapuka Besar to have a little look around. Looks like a beautiful palm-fringed beach, and we know that there's housing right along the whole length of the interior of it.
We find ourselves wandering the streets of Palau Sapuka Besar, and it is a lovely island. It is the biggest of the islands in the group, so it has most of the infrastructure. It has the police, it has the school, which has elementary, middle school and senior school. It also even has a kindergarten. The main income for the people here is from the sea. And of course there's octopus, there's sea cucumber and fish, and both of those are dried and exported to Lombok and Bali and then on to China. So this is quite a wealthy little area for an area that is so very remote in Indonesia, that they have a natural resource right on their doorstep. They're now fishing sustainably because the people of the area went to the government and asked for a paper, an agreement to be put forth, which all islands signed. The paper, which was the agreement between all of the islands, was simply this: that Indigenous people only who lived within the region could fish, that there was a closure between December and March, in actual fact, where the sea cucumbers actually spawn, and that size and weight were limited to a certain amount, so nothing under those sizes could be taken. Very clever by the people here to want to actually fish sustainably. Very clever of the people here to actually want to fish sustainably.
Well, this island, I think the highest point of the island is probably 2.5 metres above sea level. You can see they've got some sort of sea protection in places, but like much of Indonesia, we just really hope that sea levels don't increase the way they talk about, because there are so many of these sort of communities that are just going to be devastated. So we have very little Indonesian language skills. We can say thank you, we can say good morning, we can say good afternoon, and count to about 4. And I'd suggest that on this island these people have about the same level of English, or maybe a little less. But smiles and waves kind of do the job. Selfie time. Okay. Thank you. Terima kasih. There's some beautiful houses on the island.
Stunning, aren't they?
There goes the village's heavy transport. We were just commenting that we should have brought a bottle of water, and we've been invited into the police station for some water.
Some water, coffee.
Ya, kopi kasih cucu.
Susu.
Cucu. Ayo, kasih cucu. Nggak tahu sih kalau aneh.
Hello.
Tuh.
Our only effective means of communication was on the iPhone with Google Translate, but that didn't seem to matter, as we had a really enjoyable half hour in the custody of the local constabulary.
Yes. We should have photo
Oh, memang foto.
before we go.
Ya.
Yes, boleh.
Everyone in.
Dari Batam juga ya, kasih pemotong langsung.
Supaya kita masuk di Australia.
Masuk Australia. Oke.
Australia ada keluarga di Australia.
Everyone in Australia. Say hello.
Halo. Halo.
Ada bisa bantu foto nih.
Foto saya dulu Pak.
Can you do photo?
Thank you. Terima kasih.
Halo.
So for YouTube.
YouTube.
Yep, YouTube.
Channel.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Tidak.
Well, that was unexpected and pretty cool. We're just strolling down the street and we get invited into the police station, and we thought, okay, what's going to go on now? Coffee, water. Would we like to do karaoke?
Would we like food?
Yes, so hospitable here, and we've had people talk about, the Indonesian police, they're all corrupt, they want this, and all sorts of officials. We have to be quite frank in that every dealing we've had with Indonesian officials so far has been
Fantastic.
It's been delightful.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
problems at all. Very polite and very helpful.
Yes, very much.
So cool. On our way back to the dinghy, we learnt that seaweed farming was also a major activity on the island, particularly during the sea cucumber close season. Once again, a very sustainable product for export.
It's pushing down.
Terima kasih.
Bye. Bye. See you next time.
And we hope we see you next time too, as we sail to another magical island anchorage, before continuing on to reach southern Sulawesi and the town of Bira, the home of the legendary Bugis sea people. They're the builders of incredible traditional timber sailing pinisi boats.